Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, and all you time-traveling aficionados, welcome back to another exciting episode of Timeless Sagas, the channel where we take a deep dive into the captivating stories of our past and bring them to life, all while having a blast. I'm your host, and today, we're going to embark on a whimsical journey that will literally lift your spirits. So, fasten your seatbelts, or rather, hold on to your baskets, because we're going to explore the enchanting history of hot air balloons. Now, imagine this, it's the late 18th century, and the world is still a vast, uncharted territory. Humans have been dreaming of soaring through the skies like birds, but we're still a few hundred years away from airplanes. Instead, the inquisitive minds of the time turned their attention to the magical world of hot air balloons. Whoosh! Just like that, we were taking to the skies, and the sky was no longer the limit. The story of hot air balloons is a colorful tale, marked by ingenuity, bravery, and a little bit of madness. But before we get carried away, quite literally, by the beauty and wonder of these floating giants, let's dive into the science behind this marvelous invention. The principle behind hot air balloons is quite simple: hot air rises. When air is heated, it becomes less dense and lighter than the cooler air around it. The hot air inside the balloon creates a buoyant force which lifts the balloon, and voila, we're off to the races. Now, let's rewind the clock and travel back to the origins of this fantastical journey. The very first instances of man's fascination with flight can be traced back to ancient China, around 220 to 280 AD. The Chinese military used Kongming lanterns, small, hot air-filled paper lanterns, to send signals during warfare. These beautiful, glowing orbs of light were the earliest precursors to our beloved hot air balloons. Fast forward to the 18th century, and the race to conquer the skies was heating up. In France, two paper-making brothers, Joseph Michel and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier, were about to set the world ablaze, quite literally, with their invention. The spark that ignited their efforts came from a simple observation. When they watched smoke rise from a fire, they believed that it contained a special gas that they called Montgolfier gas. Spoiler alert, it was just hot air. These ingenious brothers embarked on a series of experiments that led to the birth of the first hot air balloon. On June 4, 1783, in the small town of Annonay, France, the Montgolfier brothers unveiled their creation to the public. Their prototype balloon, made of paper and silk, soared to a height of 6,000 feet and traveled a distance of 1.2 miles. The crowds were in awe, and the Montgolfiers had just earned their place in history. But of course, the story doesn't end there. The Montgolfiers were eager to prove that their invention could carry passengers, and so began the saga of the world's first aeronauts. They didn't start with humans, though. Oh no, the first brave souls, or should I say, animals, to take to the skies were a sheep, a duck, and a rooster. This motley crew was placed in a wicker basket attached to the balloon, and on September 19, 1783, they became the first living beings to experience the wonder of flight. The animals survived the flight, and history was made once again. With this success under their belts, the brothers were ready to take the next big step: human flight. On October 15, 1783, a daring Frenchman named Jean-François Pilatre de Rozier stepped into the basket and rose to the heavens, tethered to the ground by a 250-foot rope. The world watched with bated breath, and de Rozier returned to Earth, unscathed and ecstatic. Now, it was time for the pièce de résistance, a free, untethered flight. On November 21, 1783, Jean-François Pilatre de Rozier, along with François-Laurent Darlandes, climbed into the basket of a Montgolfier balloon, untethered the ropes, and floated gracefully into the Parisian skies. They traveled 5 miles in 25 minutes, reaching a height of around 3,000 feet. As they touched down, they were greeted by cheering crowds and forever cemented their place in the annals of history. The Montgolfier brothers' invention sparked a frenzy of hot air ballooning across Europe. Everyone wanted to touch the sky, and the age of the aeronauts was in full swing. Ballooning became a symbol of progress, adventure, and human ingenuity. It inspired countless innovations in the field of aviation, paving the way for the Wright brothers and their airplane more than a century later. But the history of hot air balloons is not without its share of tragedy. Our pioneering hero, Jean-François Pilatre de Rozier, met a grim fate in 1785 when he attempted to cross the English Channel in a hybrid balloon, which combined hot air and hydrogen. Sadly, the balloon caught fire mid-flight, and de Rozier and his co-pilot perished in the crash. They may be gone, but their bravery and passion for flight live on in the hearts of aeronauts everywhere. Today, hot air balloons continue to captivate our imagination and inspire a sense of wanderlust. They grace the skies in a dazzling array of colors and shapes, lifting us above our earthly troubles and allowing us to touch the heavens, if only for a moment. So, the next time you see a hot air balloon drifting through the sky, take a moment to remember the courageous pioneers who dared to dream, and let your own spirit soar. That's it for this episode of Timeless Sagas, my fellow history enthusiasts. I hope you enjoyed this whirlwind tour through the enchanting history of hot air balloons. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more thrilling historical adventures. Until then, stay curious, and keep exploring the timeless sagas of our past. Farewell, and happy ballooning.